Hey everybody, Mr. H here with you. How you guys doing, man? I finally got back from my trip. I went to both Pittsburgh and North Carolina, just kind of hanging out, seeing some friends, hanging out with some relatives there, trying to get some free pizza. Successful on all counts. Hope you guys are having a great week, and we're plunging into the weekend. So what are we talking about today? Well, Mr. H is back home up here in North Dakota. Not much happening. Everything looks the same. Cats were happy to see us. Neighbors were happy to see us. A little suspicious about that. But everything seems okay, so no problem. So a lot of times I look out at my yard and I think about how it used to be part of the interior Western Seaway. I say, let's think about Homo sapien, how long they've been here in North Dakota. Well, first people here, Dakota Sioux. That's where we got the name from. Dakota. It means friend, right? Though, weren't always friendly towards them. But yeah, they were here first. End of the last ice age, maybe. They may have come originally from Minnesota, maybe even further east, up around Quebec somewhere. Mandarin were here along with the Ossipani, ton of other tribes. End of the last ice age. And they were here when the Europeans showed up. Americans still here, even though a few of them are great friends. They seem to like the Vikings, though, for some reason. I got to work on that. The first European nation to claim North Dakota was France. There's La Salle, the explorer, going down the Mississippi and the Missouri there in 1783. So officially it belongs to France from 1682 to 1763. It wasn't like they actually had any colonies here in North Dakota. I mean, mainly it's the French fur trappers coming through. They came by and were actually, got along pretty well with the natives because, they're business partners. So it was theirs till 1763. What happened in 1763? They lost the 7 Years' War. You know that World War that started near Pittsburgh? Yeah, Mr. H's place. 1763, France loses the war and basically everything in North America. Everything east of the Mississippi goes to Britain. West, hey, France, Spain's ally, right? They get it. Secret treaty, 1763 to 1800, the Treaty of San Ildefonso, I think it was called. So Spain actually owned Mr. H's backyard from 1763 to 1800. But it wasn't like they ever came up here either, It was just sort of on paper. Because that secret treaty, which wasn't a secret very long, is going to give this thing back to France again. So, all the Native Americans who live here, it's not like they were really paying homage to the King of France or King of Spain. They rarely saw the French, not even in official capacity, and I'm not even sure a single Spanish soldier ever showed up over here. But in 1800, the French are back. But you also got to remember Britain had a piece of it too, all the way up until 1818. I got ahead of myself. But yet, France was back in 1800, 1803. If they bring that bread, we can talk. We'll get along fine. But they only had it for 3 years because they didn't know what to do with it. Once again, it's not like anyone on the ground here knows is Spanish, French, or even British in control. It's so far out in the middle of nowhere. So, Napoleon's got that, war with Britain going on. Britain could seize the whole western, Louisiana territory if they really wanted to. So he decided to sell it to the U.S. in 1803. $15 million, we got that Louisiana Purchase thing. That's right. Now it's ours. Nobody can have it. We're going to keep it forever. Then 1818, we had that treaty with the British, which kind of sealed off the 49th parallel, made that the border all the way across the continent. But here we are. North Dakota, part of the United States, is 1889, 39th state. That's also Willie Parker's number, by the way. All righty. I was thinking about some dinosaurs. Always thinking about dinosaurs. Plateosaurus, or comes up Plateosaurus sometimes when you're speaking really fast in a Western PA accent up here in the northern plains. The somewhat unimaginative name of broad lizard. That was discovered in 1834. They weren't really sure what to call it. But one thing everyone has agreed on through the years is that Plateosaurus was both two-legged and four-legged. Do either one. Yeah, they've agreed on that since the day they actually identified this thing. One of the rare moments where everyone in paleontology agrees on something. And why is it on two legs? Reach up into the trees. The neck already helps. But then if it can reach up and lean on the tree and eat, that helps too. Plateosaurus was the first big dinosaur, first one bigger than a human being. So, they got a little bit of fame there, living in the Triassic period, 227 million years ago, about 204 or so. We're not sure if they were in herds or solitary or family groups. That part people will argue about. They got to find something to argue about. I tend to think they probably traveled around in herds, though there aren't any real big predators in this era that come after them. So maybe a loose herd, right? Take the middle answer. And that's what we look like. That's what we think it looks like, the modern day representation of it. So it doesn't look very threatening. It's a plant eater. But you see those claws on the hands. If you get really mad, you can get hurt by that thing. So Plateosaurus is the first, quote unquote, big dinosaur. You see that neck? Yeah, they're going to get bigger. That's the ancestor to all the other theropods. Your brontosaurs, your brachiosaurs, argentinosaurs, all these guys trace their ancestry back to our friend, the broad lizard. All right, so I was watching the USFL, and these standings, they're getting kind of tight here. Thought we'd see some separation, got a little bit of separation. The top four are going to go to the playoffs. So St. Louis on top, 5-2, but they're not alone. Top of the heap is Orlando and DC. And then Birmingham and Louisville, along with Dallas, they're 3-4. They're not the greatest record, but not out of it yet. And one of those guys are going to get in. And Columbus and Houston, they're kind of way back there at 2-5. But weirder things have happened. There's still 3 weeks to go. So remember, the top four teams are going to go to playoffs, and the championship is going to be at Aldie Stadium in D.C. But you know what else happened today in the world of football? Yep, everyone jumping for joy in Pittsburgh. We got the new schedule. I don't like the 17-game schedule stuff. It looks like we're stuck with it. You know they're going to push it to 18, right? Probably next year, year after. But I'm looking at the schedule, and we open up with Atlanta. I know. Last time we played them was in 2010. We won 15-9 in overtime. I know because I was there. Then we're going up to New England, do battle there with the Patriots. Back home a couple weeks, Cincy and Indy. And look at this. We're playing the Saints in Paris. Yeah, of course, the Saints with the fleur-de-lis on the helmet. I guess they're going to be the home team at New Orleans. Makes sense, right? Now we're going to take a break and then come back, do battle with the Brownies like we do every year. Off to see the Bengals, the bungholes I like to call them. And look at that, November 22nd, Philadelphia playing in Lincoln Financial Field. We have not beaten the Eagles in Philly since 1968. I've never seen the Steelers triumph over the Eagles ever in Philadelphia. Played times in Pittsburgh. I was there for one of them, 2004. But I've never seen the Steelers beat them in Philadelphia. So let's take that out and check that off the list. When we're done there, back home for a couple weeks, Denver and Houston, down to Jacksonville, back for Tennessee, the last game ever in their old stadium. And then look at the end, the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be prime time. Don't even know what day or what time yet. So they're going to wait to see what works out best for the ratings there. So you guys have yourself a fantastic day. Don't you forget to like us, subscribe, go forth and conquer. And if you get bored, I'm always here because, well, I got nothing else better to do. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Das vidanya.